Hey, this is Protodude, and I'm here for Coleman X's Mega March 2025. Mega Man Legends 1 is one of my favorite Mega Man games. It's one of my favorite video games, period. It's got a lot of nostalgia for me, yes, but I also think it's really well designed, and it carries a great story filled with fantastic characters, even the NPCs. It's just wonderful. And for me, when I was growing up, I first played it when I was like 9 or 10, and I rented it from Blockbuster. And it was one of the first 3D video games that I played where I could move my character anywhere I wanted. Before that, like, I was really into Crash Bandicoot, you know. And for those that don't know, Crash Bandicoot, while it is a 3D game, you really had control of only going forward and backwards on that three-dimensional plane. So being able to move Mega Man Volnutt basically wherever I wanted was just mind-blowing at the time. And the way you could interact with the world too, that was crazy to me. Being able to like shoot things and kick things, kick a can, get hit by a car, and watch Mega Man flail over like dead, and suffer the consequences of getting hit by a car. I just thought that was the coolest stuff like ever. I had no idea that video games were capable of doing that, you know? But anyway, what I want to talk about is how Mega Man Legends 1 kind of bled into my real life when I was like 9 or 10, and how I look back at that time with a little bit of a cringe, a little cringe to it. So there was a time in my life growing up where I loved to like dress up as characters that I was, you know, reading in a book, watching, or playing as in a video game. It was like early cosplay. It was pretty cool. But, you know, I got really into Mega Man Legends, and I just remember being like awestruck by Mega Man Volnutt's his hair. I just thought it was the coolest hairstyle. And I kept his helmet off whenever I could, just because I thought it was awesome. And, you know, Volnutt and I, we both share brown hair. And I have, you know, wavy brown hair. Got it from my mom. So there was a time when I was like 10 where I wanted to style my hair like him so bad. But try as I might, with, you know, the gel and the mousse that I had at home, it really wasn't working out. So I decided the next time I would go in for a haircut, I would ask them to make me look like Mega Man Volnutt. So next time I had a haircut, I brought the manual of Mega Man Legends 1 to the haircut, the barber, and I said, "Can you make me look like this?" Yeah, you know that Ralph Wiggum scene? Yeah, that was totally me. And I remember the haircutter was just kind of humoring me. She chuckled and she's like, "Okay, well, we'll see what we can do." And I was so excited. I was just sitting there. I'm like, "Oh man, I'm gonna look like Mega Man Volnutt." She cut my hair, and you know, looking back at it now, it looked exactly the same as what I was trying to do in the bathroom. But she cut it. She spiked it up with a ton of gel. And I looked at myself, I'm like, yeah, this is awesome. So I, went home, and I showed my brother. I'm like, look, I look like Mega Man Volnutt. And he's like, whatever. My brother was like 7 at that point. I looked ridiculous when I think back to it. But in that moment, that day, I felt like Volnutt. And, it gets worse from there, folks. So I was so inspired that I looked like Volnutt that I started to build his armor from paper. I took all my dad's computer paper from his printer, and I colored it blue. For whatever reason, it didn't occur to me that I could just like find blue construction paper. But I just colored white paper blue, and I taped it to my body, and I tried to look like Volnutt. My brother thought it was so cool what I was doing at that point. I guess it was like, less silly to him. He kind of figured it out, like, oh, you're going to dress up as Mega Man Volnutt. Cool. So he kind of pitched in and helped me out, and he made a support car radio out of like this little box that my mom used to hold her spare unused checks. And he created the thing, and he made the antenna with a straw. And for that summer, that this was all taking place over a summer. Okay, that summer we just kind of like spent our days, playing Mega Man Legends, and then playing Mega Man Legends in real life. He pretended to be Roll, and I had the walkie while I was all geared up as Mega Man Volnutt, and I'm like pretending our basement is the ruins, and I'm going through blasting Reaver bots, and I'm talking to him on the walkie-talkie for the sport car. He's pretending he's in a sport car, and he had like this Build-A-Bear monkey that we were pretending was Data. It was just so fun, and I am sad to say, like, pictures of these things don't exist. But I guess that also makes it more sweet and heartwarming for me, because the only place I have it is in my memory, and I can pull it out whenever I need it. So I think about that time a lot, and it's kind of cringy. It really is, especially the whole haircut thing, showing the lady the manual. I'm like, oh my god, I can't believe I did that. But you know what? In that moment, it meant the world to me that she made me look like Volnutt, and that I felt like Volnutt. Oddly enough, I have no interest in pursuing cosplay myself these days. Don't really have the resources or the time. But if I did, I think my first cosplay that I would do would be Mega Man Volnutt. I still think he's a really cool looking character, and I'm 35 years old. I have no gray hair yet, so I still got the brown hair. I could pull this off if I wanted. We'll see one day. But for now, I have that memory, that story, forever.